Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming, homage to Master Sakya Zengkong, homage to His Holiness 16 Karmapa, and homage to Master Dubden Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice today, Yellow Jambala, the Heavenly King of the North, Vajra, Sumo, Tanzan Gato, Tutan Siti, Rinpoches, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening. How do you do?
Aisteru. Sarange. Hola amigo. Te quiero mucho. Sukoin. Ichiban. Kimochi. Jumi. Yapi. Prin. Konbanwa. 今天有这个越南的这个弟子来，所以多年。
We have fellow disciples from Vietnam, so we will add. What was it? Xin chào.
Xin chào, cảm ơn.
Cảm
ơn, xin chào. 讲几句越南话。
So a few Vietnamese.
这个是从鼻音发出来的。
It's nasal sounds.
常住在讲越南话的。
So Changzhi Master, when he spoke Vietnamese, it sounded like that. A lot of nasal sounds.
这个真巴拉，我们知道大概以前讲过了。
We know.
就是所谓的财啊。
In the past, we talk about Jambala, the so-called money or wealth. In Buddhism, there's the so-called the wealth of the 7 precious items, which is different from the worldly wealth. Can you check the 7 precious wealth of Buddhism? Please give him a microphone, please.
信，伤心的信，戒，持戒的戒，惭愧的惭愧。
Heart, repentance, generosity. Really? Oh, okay. And also precept, faith, repentance, hearing, and donation, and wisdom, and giving. So wealth in Buddhism not necessarily refer to money. That's the seven precious wealth in Buddhism. It's different from the wealth we talk about in samsara. Those are the seven right or proper or correct wealth. So in the mundane world, on earth, the Prithvi Deva, as we know, the Prithvi Deva is the wealthiest one on earth. As you know, inside the earth, all the seven precious items come from the earth. Nowadays, wealthy people would have real estate properties. They have lands, houses, manors. They are all on earth, related to the earth. Precious metals, the expensive metals including gold, jewels, gems, diamonds, all come from the earth. The seven treasures come from the earth. So Prithvi Deva, of course, is the wealthiest. And we know in the ocean, the wealthiest one is the Dragon King. He's the richest. And the palace of the Dragon Kings. Who's been there in the past? Sakyamuni Buddha has been there before. Nagarjuna Bodhisattva has also been to the Dragon Palace. Grandmaster has also been to the Dragon Palace. So the Dragon King in the Dragon Palace is the wealthiest. And we often say the wealthiest one in the heavens are the four heavenly kings. They are the richest, like Vaishravana, Virudaka, Virupaksa, Drashtarashtra, the four heavenly kings are guarding the four sides of Mount Sumeru. North, south, east, and west. And the palaces there are made of the seven treasures. Do you know what their palaces are made of? Anyone? Some said made of lapis lazuli, of crystal, gold,
黄金、琉璃、水晶，这些都很贵的。
these are all expensive.
你们到过那个
Have you been to
我们小的还有一个白金也是很贵的。
platinum is also expensive, also very expensive.
到过那个地方叫什么？
Have you been
那奥
to
地利是啊，
that place? Was it Austria?
我是讲说，水晶的那。
I'm talking about the crystals, Swarovski. Yeah.
那在哪一个国家？
Which
奥
countries?
地利没有。
Austria.
奥地利就好了。
Just say Austria. Make it so
我
complicated.
讲奥地利。
And I ask, is it Austria? And just say Austria. And you said
单单一个墙壁多少钱呢？那个我们
the
下
name
去
of the
看的
place.
时候，看那个水晶墙，
Just the
那
wall
个水晶的
embellished
全
with
部在那个
crystals.
墙壁上面，那水晶墙，
So we call it the Swarovski wall. How much is it worth?
你们查一下，手机可以找得出来。
You can check on your cell phones.
总之啊，都是很贵的。
They're all
四
expensive.
天王本身的宫殿就是那个造的，
And
还有比四天王
the palaces of the four heavenly kings are made of those things. And of course, there are palaces that's even, or there are those who are wealthier
所谓的33
in the realm of desire, in the Triatrimsa's heaven,
那当然
at the center of the 33 heaven.
数不清的这个珍宝，
Of course, there are also
那是属于
countless precious treasures that are very pricey.
体现天本身。
Those are the wealth of the realm of desire.
那我们学佛呢，我觉得这个财这个事情，你说，
So, in our Buddhist study,
学佛的人如果没有钱，
if a Buddhist practitioner does not have any money,
钱在上座部规定很严的，上座部佛教分成
in the past, in the
佛
upper
在这个离
tantric
开以后，
court,
所有的声闻或者大弟子，
when the
他们
Buddha
上座部，
left
上座部
enter parinirvana, all the Sravaka and disciples belong to the
要有
upper
部派的分，
court
上座部
and the middle court.
它可以
They're
讲
divided
完全
into
按
the
照释迦
divisions.
牟尼佛那时候的戒
The
律
upper
在做，
court
戒律比较
comply to the precepts in
就
complete
是比较
in
宽
totally,
比较戒律比较
and
宽
then in the middle
比较
court
方便做
is a little bit loose to provide conveniences for the commoners, for the sentient beings. Therefore, they could
要
guide
走上
many
座部的这个戒律
people onto the path. But
他们是不
in the
可以
upper
碰触
court,
不可以
it is very strict.
也就是
They're not
你
allowed
手
to
不能
touch
够碰去碰
money.
钱
Your hands cannot touch money
戒
at
律
all. The
但是他们
precepts
有
or
时
the
候
moral
要
ethics are very
我
strict.
们用筷子的就用筷子去夹，
However, if you use chopstick, you can
用筷子去夹，那是属
you
于上
can
座戒律很严。
hold the money using chopsticks. But
但
that's
是我觉
the
得我
upper
们现
court
在学佛，大部
where
分
the
人大众部
precepts
比
are
较
very strict.
上座部已经很少，上座部比较少，大众部比较多。
So it's less in the upper court, and the middle
戒律
court
方面比较
there are
宽
more people because it's more relaxed
就比较多。
about their
佛教
compliance to the precepts so they can entice more people. And in the past, when they were very strict in the upper court, especially. In today's Buddhism, the bigger the group, the more money they have. Our True Buddhist school is not considered a beggar's group anymore, but in reality, frankly speaking, let's just take Taiwan as an example. The richest one is the biggest Buddhist group, which is Tzu Foundation, and next is Fo Guangsan religious group, and their assets is incredible. It's innumerable. Therefore, all the palaces, the temples that Fo Guangsan built were very luxurious and beautiful, magnificent. And Tzu Foundation is an extremely humongous group. Although all the buildings are gray, but when I visited Hualien, when I saw their temple hall, I was shocked. Especially in Tanzi. Tanzi is the name of a place. The hospital that Tzu Foundation built, wow, it's like a castle. Huge. It's enormous. When you entered into their great hall and took a look, oh heavens. Comparing to True Buddhist School Head Temple, which is the Seattle Lechang Temple, it's hundreds of times bigger. Our hall here is so tiny. Even if we add the side rooms, it's only 4,000 square feet. But their great hall, wow. You look forward and the murals, bright. And what is it made of? Money. Because only when you have money, you would be able to build those. If you have no money, can you build the Fo Guangsan, Fo Guang Mountain, or Buddha's Light Mountain? If you have no money, can you build such a enormous thing, even though it's gray? But our head temple with this few buildings are like huts. Therefore, we should pray to Yellow Jambala and we ask the Yellow Jambala to bestow US dollars, gold, and diamonds upon us. Good thing, though, that our disciples have won lotteries, lottery prizes, many of them in Taiwan, Lijiang Temple, and also in Seattle. We also have disciples that won lotteries, and many in Taiwan, and also two Buddha school disciples who won first prizes in lotteries, and several of them in Taiwan Lijiang Temple. We've talked about it before in the past. I told them not to make it public because it can be dangerous if you win a lottery. So even if you are rich, you should not make it known. In Taiwan Lijiang Temple, I always read the names of the VIPs, and among them there's one that also won lottery. Everybody knows that person, and that person came to Seattle, and I don't dare to mention who that is until now. So that person came to Seattle with his or her son and daughter. So I was going to say, oh, it's you who won the lottery, and that person kept saying, oh, no, don't mention anything because even my children do not know. So that person did not let his or her children know. Then they would spend the money. Then they are already spenders. They are already spenders, so they would want more money. So who should win a lottery so that they can take the money to build something like for Guangshan or Tzu Chi Foundation? Well, I don't dare to think of it. So may the four heavenly kings protect us. The teacher asked Xiaoming, how do you explain that water flows downward and people goes upward? The teacher asked Xiaoming, how do you explain it? Xiaoming replied, if you have leak in your house, then the neighbor downstairs will come up. It makes sense. Xiaoming is really smart. We may not have anyone smarter than he is. The husband told the wife, honey, thanks for you, thanks to you to accompany me all the way, that you have suffered during the hard times. And the wife replied, it's okay that we suffer now, but when you have money in the future, and if you abandon me, you would be dead. And the husband said, don't worry, honey, because I will never be rich in this life. There is benefit to being rich, but there's also disadvantages. Now we'll do question and answer from Malaysia, asked by Lianhua Li Hong. Homage Grandmaster. So in the ritual of letting animals live, does it specify that we need to chant where the animals can hear it? So when you chant for the animals have to be able to hear it. So this ritual would extend the lifespan and Bardo delivered them to the Pure Land. And the animals not necessarily released back to nature. And upon my observation, most of those animals die rather than live on because they may not adapt to the environment. So I have this idea. So when we want to let animals live, can we just donate to the humane societies, the local humane societies, so that they can help do it so it may be more effective? So, Grandmaster, is this considered the ritual of letting go, letting animals live? According to the ritual of letting animals live, if you chant for the animals, can the animals understand? That's the question. Can they understand? So the ritual is not chanted for the animals. It's for your own heart or mind. When you perform rituals or when you chant the sutras, or to chant Amitabha Sutra, is it you chant it for Amitabha? No. It's the chanting is not for the Buddha, it's for yourself. You want to apply or to put into practice what's in the sutra, so you chant it for yourself. So when you release animals or fish or birds, you don't chant it for the birds. Things that fly in the sky, animals that swim in water or crawl on the ground, not for them. You chant it for your own mind or heart, so you generate compassion. So to nurture your own compassionate heart. So you want to be able to do it. It's not chanted for the animals. And about her idea that the money can be donated to the society so that they can do it appropriately. This would be more effective. This is considered releasing the animals to live on. And in my personal opinion, sure. Like for the human societies, for the dogs, you donate to them so that they took care of the animals. That's okay in modern days. Or to let the water animals live on. Animals that belong to the sea, to return them to the sea, like turtles. Or if it's freshwater turtles, you should return them to the freshwater. Saltwater animals should be returned to the salt water. Or river, those who live in river, etc., should be returned to their appropriate life habitats. Otherwise, you kill them, they would die. So you need to release them to the proper habitats. Or you make donations to the Humane Society who take care of the homeless dogs or other pets. That's also a kind of ritual of letting the animals live. So there's a meaning of a birth deliverance, but the key is to nurture your mind of compassion. That's the meaning. You know, in letting animals live, you know, you cannot do it so randomly or casually. Some people raise lots of animals and then they release the snakes in the woods. And then there are many hikers that were bitten by the poisonous snakes. So compassion should be accompanied by wisdom. You can release some animals. We also have animal protections.
在潜水的时候碰到鲨鱼，鲨鱼要吃它，你跟他讲我是动物保护协会的，你不要吃我。
Like if you see a shark when you're in the ocean, and then you worry about the animal protection, then you would be eaten by the shark. So at that time, you shouldn't worry about that. So when you release animals to their habitat, you should be wise. The next question from Taiwan. In the teaching for the Rainbow Light Attainment, it was mentioned about the method to attain Buddhahood in 7 days. So when we are near death, do we visualize that method? Or should we just visualize our soul to push against the apex so that the child light can meet the mother light? Only if you're unsuccessful, then we visualize A syllable hooking on the home syllable for 49 days. Is this correct? The so-called Buddhahood in 7 days is when you are near death, you visualize yourself to become home syllable. Your physical body or your consciousness is visualized to become home syllable. And the consciousness of the universe is visualized to be A syllable. A, the character A. So you visualize it, the A syllable, and there's a hook. There's a hook as part of that character or syllable. And home is like this, a dot, a circle, semicircle, and like this. With the dot and the circle. So the hook of A would hook on that circle. That's the visualization for Buddhahood in 7 days. So you visualize the whole consciousness of the universe to be A and yourself to be home. When you're about to die, you visualize that A hooks on home. And once you hook, then you would be reborn in the Pure Land. Then you would have attainment. Of course, you have to rely on your regular training on this. And this question, the tantric method to attain Buddhahood in 7 days. So do we have to visualize this when we are near death? Or we just push our soul against the tip of the head to let the child light to meet the mother light? You can do either one of them, both of them. If you are able to gather the qi of the 5 elements of the earth, water, fire, wind, and space at your heart chakra, therefore, His Holiness the 16th Karmapa said, when he was dying, that when a human being is leaving samsara, the most important thing is to maintain the clear light radiance inside your heart. That was spoken by the 16th Karmapa when he was about to pass away in a hospital in Chicago. He was lying down and visualized the clear light radiance inside his heart. And this clear light radiance can reach the tip of your head. And the apex is already open because you already trained in opening the apex, which is the POA practice. If your apex already open, then you use the qi of the 5 elements inside your body and you lift it together with the light to the apex, and then you leave through that opening, and your light would merge the light of the universe. It would be like a drop of water entering the ocean. So this is called the child light meeting the mother light. So if your apex is open, please raise your hand. If your apex is open already, please raise your hand. Anyone practicing POA? Yours is open. Can we see? With the physical eyes? Yes. How did you see it? With the mirror? It's okay. Please be seated. So the apex have to be open. When we were born, the apex is open. Babies, that part of the skull is open, and then it gradually encloses. So when you do your practice, and when you always push against the apex, it would gradually open again. That's a tantric Dharma practice, because the central channel connects with the apex directly. My apex is open. You have seen it, right? In the past, I have shown it to you. So you don't have to see it again now. So those who have opened your apex, remember the clear light radiance inside your heart, and then you collect all the qi into your heart, and then you push it up through the central channel to the apex, and then you leave through the apex. Then you will definitely have attainment. So remember, when Grand Master is performing the guidance during Bardo, is to open the gate to heaven, close the opening to the earth, to the human and the ghosts. So one is open the gate to heaven, is to open your apex. So that's the guidance during bardo. And then to close the opening to the lower realms, to hells, hungry ghosts and animals. Because if you leave through the secret chakra, then you would be born into the 3 lower realms, or through the anus. If you leave through the navel, when we were born, the umbilical cord is from the navel. That's how they get their nutrients from the mother. So I blocked that door too. And then I blocked the openings of the mouth, nostrils, eyes, and ears. All of those have to be blocked. Only the apex is open. So opening the gate to heavens, to close the openings to the lower realms, and to block the path to the humans and the ghost. So that you don't become bardo spirits, you're not reborn as human beings anymore, or fall into the 3 lower realms, which are the hells, hungry ghosts, animals, and asuras. You cannot go to any of this, and you can only leave through the apex, or the tip of your head. So that's a method. The merging of the child light with the Buddha, the mother light, to attain Buddhahood. And in this method, you visualize yourself to become home, and you visualize the light of the universe to become That's also the merging of the child light with the mother light, and that's a method to be reborn into the Pure Land. The only way to be reborn in the realms of the Buddha, or the 4 Sichli realms, or even the heavens. So that's the answer to Lianhua Wanli from Taiwan. So actually, attainment of the Buddhahood in 7 days and the meeting of the child light with the mother light is the same. It's just the visualization that's different. The wife said to the husband, "Honey, what do you think of my figure?" And the husband said, "Not bad." And the wife said, "However, my best friend said I have no waist." Is she blind? You have such a huge waist, and she didn't see any? She didn't see it? My friend has a very stinky feet, and one time the poisonous snake bit his feet, and after the emergency, the help in the emergency, that for 6 hours the snake was safe. The benefits of the husband is that someone to listen to all your gossips, and you don't have to worry that it would spread. So the benefits of a husband is that he would never spread the gossips. Why? Because he wasn't listening at all. That's a joke. That's a common occurrences. Natural or normal. Now we will talk about the Vajra Sutra. What I'm talking about today has this one key point. If there is someone has pure faith upon hearing the sutra, he will give rise to real phenomena. This person will obtain the rarest merits. He said, Subhuti said, if there is someone upon hearing the sutra generate pure faith, he will give rise to real phenomena, and this person will obtain the rarest of merits. Typically, people who expound this sutra will not elaborate on this part. If there's someone who hears the sutra and generate pure faith, a very pure faith, then he will give rise to real phenomena. Then he will gain true understanding of the real phenomena and know that this person will obtain the rarest of merits. Most people would explain it like that, just with a few words. No need to explain it. They are in simple words, but pay attention. Pure faith giving rise to real phenomena. So pay attention to this pure faith. Pure faith. Many people regard, I'm a Buddhist, I'm devoted, and that is pure faith. I am completely believe in Buddhism, which is complete faith with no doubts whatsoever. That's already pure. We call it complete faith. Like gold. 9999, and that's pure gold. We call it pure gold. Not gold-plated. Gold-plated would be on the surface, but this is pure gold. 9999. With just a very, very slight. So it's very pure. So is that pure faith? Of course, I believe in my yidams, Amitabha Buddha, Golden Mother, and Siddhikara Bodhisattva. I'm pure, I tell them everything, no deceits or secrets. So will I give rise to real phenomena? No, impossible. So this pure faith is not talking about faith. So this pure is very important. Only this is called the real practice, real application. You want to put into practice your faith. Only that would be called pure. So it's not superficial faith, really. So everybody thinks that, with this faith, then I can give rise to real phenomena. No. This pure faith requires you to apply, to execute. Execute what? Is though no view or no phenomena of self, others, sentient beings, and lifespan. Only then there would be a real pure. No view of self, no view of others, no view of sentient beings, and no view of lifespan. Only then it would be called the real purity. Only then you can go to all 3 times and 10 directions, which means the past, present, and future as a continuation, and reaching all 10 directions, up, down, and the 8 directions, unhindered, boundlessness, unhindered boundlessness. Only then it would be called pure faith. So the 3 times represent the time. That the time is all pure. It means that the past lives are all pure, the present lives are pure, and the future lives are all pure. And then all encompassing in the 10 directions. So you're pure up, down, or above, below, and in all 8 directions, which means in all spatial dimension, it's pure. Let me give you an example, analogy. I often talk about the analogy of the moon. There are no human beings on the moon. Just land all over. No living beings there. But are there living beings or not? Let's just assume there are no lives whatsoever on the moon, not even a single person there. With respect to the moon, is there any benefit, advantages or disadvantages of time? None. There's no effect whatsoever. And the space has no effect whatsoever. I've said it, if I am a big landlord on the moon, that land belongs to me. Is there any use? No use. No value. So the spatial dimension has no value. Is there value attached to the land on the moon? Maybe in the future, if human beings migrate there, we can build the Grand Hilton Hotel there. And you can wait there for the space shuttles to come. and you would earn US dollars. But if you earn US dollars there, that's the same as papers. Can you use those papers on the moon? It's only useful on Earth. So if you go to the moon and stay at the Grand Hilton Hotel and they want gold as payment, but what use is gold? No use. Only this is called pure faith. So mull it over, ponder upon it, that your heart mind is like the space, that your mind is like the cosmos, boundless. And your heart is like the moon. There is no such things as good or bad for you. There is no self, no sentient beings, no time, no space, no spatial dimension. So that would be first rate of purity. Only this is called pure faith. Only then that one will give rise to real phenomena. Many people in their exposition of the Vajra Sutra will not touch on this, believe me. No one will explain this point. Why did Confucius go to Lao Tzu to get his advice? And Confucius was a sage. And Lao Tzu explained the Tao to Confucius. And what kind of Tao or the way? Way, is it? So Lao Tzu taught Tao to Confucius, and Confucius is a sage from China. He's already too great. And what did Lao Tzu say to Confucius? Stop. Empty. So arrive and emptiness. Oh, 自序. So what is these two words mean? That's the Tao. Only this stopping and emptiness is Tao. Confucius came to see Lao Tzu and asked me what the Tao is. And let me tell you, Tao is stop emptiness. Only then that would be real. Only that is real. So in the Vajra Sutra it said that only when one has pure faith, he will give rise to real phenomena. Most people would just say that if you have pure faith, that you will give rise to real phenomena. How could it be that simple? If it's that simple, then Confucius had no need to go seek advice from Lao Tzu. Only 自序 is the real phenomena. So, and the next, the real phenomena is non-phenomena. That's why the Tathagata named it real phenomena. Only then you would understand this statement. Otherwise, you would understand why the real phenomena are non-phenomena, and only the non-phenomena is the real phenomena. Lao Tzu has said it, that Zi is real. Only when nothing exists is the real, the reality. Is arriving at the emptiness. So these 4 Chinese words, which is pure faith, is not easy to explain. Only Grandmaster Lu can explain it. We all know that Confucius sought advice from Lao Tzu about the Tao. We all know about that. We all know. But what did Lao Tzu told Kongzi? It's Zi Xu, which is utmost emptiness, or arriving at emptiness, which is the same as what's spoken in the Vajra Sutra, that only non-phenomena is the real phenomena. So the real phenomena are non-phenomena. That's why we can continue. World Honor 1. The real phenomena are non-phenomena. Therefore the Tathagata named it real phenomena. Do you understand? So in the exposition of the Vajra Sutra, you need to be able to pinpoint that crucial point. If you can't, then what are you talking about? That's an indestructible sutra. How could the utmost emptiness be destroyed? How can the non-phenomena be destroyed? They are indestructible. Without time and spatial dimension, how can it be destroyed? Only when you reach such a realm, you are Buddha. You cannot even miss a little bit. Today only Grandmaster Lu understands this concept. There are many people expounding the Vajra Sutra, but they would never have thought about this pure faith. Now, after my exposition, you would know that the real phenomena are non-phenomena, and the non-phenomena are real phenomena. Then immediately you would understand. But if I don't explain it, nobody would understand. It would be superficial, and you just glaze over it. So what they expound is not the Vajra Sutra, but the Destructible Sutra. But what Grandmaster expounds is the Indestructible Sutra. Now back to reality. There are many ways to please your wife. Kiss her, hug her. That would make her happy. Play with her. Clean the bathrooms. Accompany her to go to her mother's home. Accompany her shopping, do laundry, come home early, speak sweetly, always in contact, give her surprise, give her massage, be a good listener to her. There are many ways to please your wife and to please your husband. Just only one. Just let him be. Om Mani Padme Hum.